All right. Good morning. It's Monday, which means that we've got a slow night for hockey tonight, but there are still three relatively decent matchups to come. Um, One that I usually dread during the regular season or playoffs during the very, very brief periods where they've met in the playoffs. So I might as well just start things off there. San Jose's in against Vancouver tonight. Yep. California teams against Vancouver, it usually doesn't end well for Vancouver. That's just been the way it's been for a while now. San Jose has a record of 33-16-7. You can argue that they're playing the best hockey in the league right now. And tonight's another chance for them to show it against a Vancouver team that at 25-24-7. They're riding that line between being a pretty good team or mediocre, or is this just a case of the rookie coming in and transforming everything? And honestly, when he's in the lineup, it's completely different than when he isn't. But I still don't see him getting heart votes if they don't make the playoffs. San Jose 1-0 versus Vancouver this year, to the surprise of no one. Versus the Pacific Division, San Jose's 13-4-3. Against their own division, Vancouver 7-5-3. In February, San Jose's won all four games. In February, Vancouver 2-2-1. So, yeah, it's that swing back east. I knew that was going to happen. One goal games, San Jose's 12-3-7. In the same, Vancouver 11-9-7. So definitely a better record for San Jose across the board, no matter what stat you're looking at with this one. Your assist leaders. For San Jose, Burns has 50, Erik Karlsson has 40, Logan Couture, Timo Meier, they all have 29. Power play points, Burns 21, Karlsson 18, and Pavelski with 16. Goals per 60 minutes on the ice. So this is, you look at their ice time and you goals, you divide everything out. Anyways, Pavelski 1.61 goals per 60 minutes. Hurdle 1.56 and Evander Kane 1.4, having a very solid season. Kind of quietly, because there's so many guys having solid seasons for San Jose. I think the trick for any team against them this year is going to be, who do you shut down? There's so many guys who've had good seasons, and adding Karlsson definitely is another wrinkle in that. Goaltenders, I expect Jones here. He has a 26-10-4 record with an 898 save percentage again. I keep waiting for that save percentage to go up to where it should be. He's a good goaltender when he's on. Aaron Dell, 7-6-3 with an 892 save percentage. So his came up by a point based on his last game. On the Vancouver side of things versus the Pacific, February, and one goal, as I said, they are all below San Jose. Now, when you look at the scoring leaders, it's kind of the same thing except for one exception. We'll get to that. Your assist leaders, EP40, that rookie kid for the Canucks, that's Swede. 25 of them. Horvat, 24. Besser with 19. Power play points, he leads there as well with 14. Horvat, 11. And Edler with 10. Goals per 60 minutes on the ice. That Swedish kid, 1.86 goals for every 60 minutes. It's the highest number on the board other than Ovechkin's. So that's impressive. Berchi 1.4, and of course he's out indefinitely. Besser 1.39. So Besser is having a relatively decent season when you look at the fact he has a 1.39. Kane's got a 1.4. He's ahead of anybody in LA. He's ahead of Wilson and Vrana here. Like he's having a good year, and yet because everybody's paying attention to the new rookie for the Canucks, that shiny new toy, Besser doesn't get as much attention. Now, Markstrom's going to start virtually every game from here going forward. He's 21-15-6, 910 save percentage. Demko's got a game on the board, of course. DiPietro doesn't play unless something happens. And DiPietro has to be the backup because the Canucks don't have an AHL level goaltender under an NHL contract. This is where the whole Mike McKenna thing comes in. But who knew that, Philadelphia would scoop up McKenna. Demko's got the one win and a 923 save percentage for his appearance. Next up, LA. So the Kings 23-27-5 in against the 30-18-7 Washington Capitals. And those records would indicate that Washington's the much better team. Records would be deceiving in this case. The Kings played well last week. They did. They played very well. They went 3-0-1 through an Eastern swing that continues tonight with the Capitals. This is their first meeting this year. Versus the Metro Division, LA has a 7-5-1 record. They're above 500 against the Metro. That's pretty solid. Versus the Pacific, Washington 7-4-1. So very similar there. In February, both teams 3-1-1. So again, while the overall record would indicate, oh yeah, no, Washington will win this, it is a little bit deceptive just how much of a difference there is between these two teams when it comes to record. 1-goal games, LA's 11-4-5, whereas the Capitals are 13-4-7. So they're similar in that area as well. Your assist leaders, the scoring is where things really are quite different between these two teams. Assist leaders for LA, Doughty with 25, Kopitar with 24, Dustin Brown with 20. Power play points, Doughty with 16, Carter with 12, Kopitar with 10. And your goals per 60 minutes. Who had Kyle Clifford in that pool? 0.98, Wagner 0.89, and Kovalchuk 0.88. Those surprise me. The first two especially surprised me. Kovalchuk, not really. He hasn't had a lot of ice time, but 0.88, it's well below anything else on this board. So LA really does have a lot of scoring issues. Jack Campbell, 7-9 with a .924 save percentage, is likely to be the backup, as Quick's likely starting. He has an 11-13-4 record and a .902 save percentage. On the Cap side of things, their assist leader is Carlson with 41, Backstrom with 40, and Kuznetsov with 36. Power play points, Carlson has 21, Backstrom has 20, Kuznetsov 18. For the record, Ovechkin has 17. So now, when we get into goals per 60 minutes, that's where Ovechkin shows up with a 1.95. So despite the fact that Ovechkin hasn't scored a goal in a while, 1.95 isn't bad. Wilson with 1.29 and Vrana with a 1.23. So Wilson, who also has been a little bit colder lately than he was earlier on in the year, still 1.29 ain't bad. Now, Copley's likely to be the starter tonight. Holtby as the backup, 19-13-4, .906 save percentage. Copley, 11-5-3, .904 save percentage to round things out for Washington. This is one of those games for the Caps. They're 3-1-1 in February. They want to prove that they're on their way up. The Kings are a good test because the Kings are aware of what's on the line and have played on this road trip like, okay, our jobs are on the line here. We have to make it so that management has a more difficult decision. Now, this morning, Nate Thompson got traded away by the Kings, but that's not going to be a game changer. That's not a player you look at and go, oh, well, now the Kings are clearly tanking. That may be how it's portrayed, but yeah, I'll get into that trade in a video later today, but that's not really a selling trade. That's just this guy's on his way out kind of trade. It's not necessarily a selling trade at all. All right, last up, Pittsburgh and Philly. So as we get closer to the Stadium Series game where an ugly jersey to the left and an ugly jersey to the right shall collide, I don't know where the idea came from. And first it's Tampa, now it's Philly and Pittsburgh, that they're going to make these two-tone jerseys. And again, it's something I've seen people talk about, oh, color rush, and I've thought, oh, don't follow the NFL with color rush. That's just ugly. I'm starting to think that somebody at Adidas has said we should try doing color rush jerseys. That'd be fun. So it feels to me like they're testing the waters on that. And if you aren't aware of color rush, it's where you make a jersey really ugly. 28-20-7 is the record of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Philadelphia is 25-23-7. Philadelphia won the only meeting between these two teams this year, so they're going to see each other a bit from here on. And Philadelphia, which they're close to a playoff spot. I'm going to do a video about that later, but they can absolutely injure the Pittsburgh Penguins' ability to make the playoffs. This is a good example of how they can do that, because Pittsburgh is the number 2 wild card. Versus the Metro, Pittsburgh 7-7-1. Versus the Metro, Philadelphia more troubling, 5-8-1. But they've won the only matchup between themselves and Pittsburgh. In February, Pittsburgh's 1-3-1, whereas Philadelphia's 3-0-1. So they definitely seem to be headed in two different directions there. In 1-goal games, Pittsburgh 9-4-7. They don't like the 1-goal games very much, whereas Philadelphia 12-6-7. So Assist leaders for Pittsburgh: Malkin with 41, Crosby with 39, and Kessel with 36. Absolutely no surprise about those three being the top three at all. Power play points leaders: Kessel with 23, Malkin with 18, and Chris Letang with 17. Goals per 60 minutes on the ice: Jake Gensel 1.49, Hornquist 1.38, and Crosby 1.27. Matt Murray's starting tonight, so it'll be a matchup between the two solid young goalies that should be the future of the Pennsylvania goalie scene. Murray's 15-9-1 with a .909 save percentage. DeSmith 13-10-5 with a .916 save percentage. And these guys are listed as confirmed. I know I still have the dash, but they're listed as confirmed on Daily Faceoff. Now, Murray had a couple of not great starts over the last month. And it, that's kind of what happens is you end up going over what Pittsburgh does with a fine-tooth comb, because you expect a level of excellence from them you may not expect from other teams. So we'll see how Murray plays tonight. I anticipate a good game for him because they're on the road in Philly, and that's always a good atmosphere. Philly's leaders in assists: Giroux with 42, Voracek 34, Couturier 25. Again, no surprise there with the top three. Power play points: Giroux with 15, Couturier with 12, Voracek with 11. It is surprising that with those three names that they have one of the lower rated power plays in the league, although they've had some good games lately. Goals per 60 minutes: Van Riemsdyk. James Van Riemsdyk leads 1.26, Couturier 1.19, Simmons and Konechny both have a 1.06 rating. So I keep seeing people talking about Simmons and what a great goal scorer he is. Yes, 1.06 goals for every 60 minutes isn't bad, but is the lowest number not occupied by a Los Angeles King on the board, or Travis Konechny. Carter Hart is listed as the starter for tonight. He's 11-5-1, .926 save percentage. He is, I would assume, the mayor of Philadelphia at this stage of the game. Stolarz 3-3-3 with a .903 save percentage would then be the backup. So I assume that Carter Hart is on his way to being governor, and eventually he'll have a fortress of solitude up near the North Pole, and he'll start answering to Kal-El. And I joke, and yet it's been an amazing story, and it'll be fun to see how it works tonight against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a team that can absolutely score in bunches, so this could be a very entertaining, wide open game. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.